everyone, welcome back to my channel. So in today's video I'm gonna be doing another 3 looks with 1 palette video, and since we are in January and I know Valentine's Day is coming up and a lot of people want to either get dressed up for their man or they want to just get dressed up for themselves or whatever it is. I know that a lot of people are probably looking for different makeup looks as to what to wear and whatnot, and I thought what better way than to do 3 different looks that you can wear for Valentine's Day using the Naked 3 palette, which is the perfect palette I think for Valentine's Day because of all the pinky hues that the palette does have. So on Instagram I did a poll asking, because I have a few different palettes that I wanted to use, and this was one of the palettes that was requested for me to do. I really wanted to do this video because the Naked 3 palette, when you look at it, it doesn't really look like there's much going on here. I mean, for the most part, you swatch it out, all the tones look very similar to one another, and sometimes they can tend to kind of just look all muddy on your face and look like the same look over and over again. I have had a few different palettes kind of do something similar to that, in the sense that every time I mix certain colors together it just looked like the same look over and over again, but those are usually my smaller eyeshadow palettes that I bought. Can't really think of one on the top of my head that does that, but no, I have a palette that does that exact thing. So that's why I wanted to take the challenge and do 3 different looks with a Naked 3 palette, just to show that there can be some type of versatility when it comes to a palette that looks so basic and neutral. I'm so excited for this video. I cannot wait for you guys to see the 3 different looks that I created using this one palette and only this palette. So if you guys are interested in learning what 3 looks I did using the Naked 3 palette, then continue watching. So we're going to start off with the Naked 3 palette from Urban Decay, and this is what it looks like. So I'm going to start by taking the shade Limit, and I'm going to take that Morphe M533 brush and just apply that into my crease as a nice transition shade. And then I'm taking the shade Nooner, which is a little bit darker, and I'm taking that on a MAC 217 brush, and this is just going to help to intensify the crease. And then I'm taking some of this shade called Liar, and I'm just taking that on this tapered brush, and I'm going to apply that into the outer corner. And then I'm taking the shade Buzz, and I'm going to wet that with an Evian spray on this Wet n Wild brush and just apply that all over the lid. And this will just really help to intensify the eyeshadow and make it look very vibrant. And then I'm just going to blend everything together, make sure that there's no harsh lines. And then I'm taking some of the shade Strange, and I'm just applying that onto my brow bone as a nice highlight. And then I'm just wiping off this powder that I put underneath just to prevent any fallout from falling onto my face makeup, and then quickly just gonna go ahead and apply some mascara, and I'm gonna prep my lashes for falsies. And then I'm using the Salon Perfect Demi Wispies with some of my Kiss Lash Glue, which is my favorite glue, and I'm just gonna make sure that that dries. I wait about 30 seconds before applying it onto my eyes. And I usually like to use a tweezer because that just helps me get really close onto there. And then I just push up my lashes to make sure that they are standing up, and that just opens up the eyes. And then this is what my eyes look like after I put the lashes on. And then I'm using some of the Barracuda shade with Max Half Red Lip Liner, and the Barracuda shade is from Colourpop. It's an ultra satin lip, and I'm just gonna go ahead and line my lips with Half Red Lip Liner first. This is one of my favorite lip liners from MAC. And then I'm just going to go ahead and take some of the Barracuda shade. Don't mind how messy my hair is right now. I just took the headband off because it was giving me a headache. And then this is the finished look for the first look. As you see, it's really nice and soft and pink, so perfect for Valentine's Day or just any other day. And then I'm going to go ahead and start off by taking the shades Limit and Nooner for my second look with that same exact brush, the Morphe M533 brush. And then I'm going to go ahead and go into the shade Factory, and I'm taking that on a Morphe M433 brush, and I'm going to apply that onto the outer V as well as in the crease. This eyeshadow palette doesn't really have a lot of mattes, so it's okay to use shimmers in the crease every now and then as long as they're not super glittery. And then I'm taking some of the shade Black Heart, and I'm taking that on this really tiny little pencil brush. And I'm just applying that on the lower lash line first, and then I'm going to go ahead and apply the rest of it into the crease. I know it's not blended out right now, but we will go back in and blend that out later. So we're just kind of placing the color down first. And then I'm taking my MAC 217 brush, which is the smallest blending brush that I have, well, one of the smallest ones. And I'm just going to go ahead and just blend out the edges. Really take your time with this step because since it is such a dark color, it can be a little harder to blend out. But I find that blending it in with the shimmery shades makes it a little bit easier, and it's not as splotchy as blending it out with matte shades. And then I'm going in with a MAC 217 brush or 224 brush and just making sure that everything is nice and blended out. And then I'm going in with that color Strange again and putting that on my brow bone. And this just makes sure that anything that may have gone a little bit too high blends out nicely. It's one of my favorite tricks to do. And then I'm taking some of the shade Trick and I'm wetting that and I'm applying that onto the lid with a little bit of the Evian water, and I'm using a Wet n Wild flat concealer brush. And then I'm just taking a little bit of this translucent powder, and I'm using this flat brush from Morphe just to kind of make that cat eye shape with the eyeshadow. And then I'm just dusting off any of the excess powder. And then I'm going to go ahead and use some of my Tarte Man Eater eyeliner. I wanted to go ahead and do a nice wing with this look because I really want to create that nice cat eye shape. So I always start with the outer lash line, and then I just kind of create that triangle and then connect everything. And then I just go ahead and extend the wing out as long as I want it and just fill in the little blank spaces. And I'm making a smaller wing than usually just because I want the eyeshadow to really show. And I think by far this is still one of my favorite liquid eyeliners. Let me know if you guys want to see an updated wing eyeliner tutorial, because I can definitely do that for you guys because it's changed up just a little bit. So then I'm just going to go ahead and apply some mascara, and for this look I decided to opt out of the falsies since we do have that nice wing. So I just really take my time and build up the mascara, and I'm using some of the Maybelline Big Shot mascara. And then I'm just going to go back in with the shade Factory and applying that on my lower lash line to make sure that everything smokes out and it just kind of makes the look go together. And then I'm taking some of this Deep Plum lip liner from my Looking Glass, and I'm going to go ahead and apply that onto the lips. And then I'm taking some of the shade 951 from Colourpop times I Love Sarai. It's also Neutra Satin. And this is the finished look for the second look. I really like how it came out. It's very sultry and dramatic, but still very wearable at the same time. So then for the third and final look, we're going to start off with the shade Nooner, and I'm taking that on this Wet n Wild concealer or crease brush, and I'm just going to go ahead and apply that onto the crease. And as you guys can see, I put down a lot more powder this time because we're going to go ahead and do more of a smokier look. And then as you guys can see here, I was having a hard time figuring out which shadow I was going to go into next. So I decided to go into the shades Dark Side and Factory and mix those together to apply those into my crease. And I'm using this on a brush that came in my Kylie Peach palette. And then for the lid shade, I don't know why I didn't show it, but I went into the shade Mugshot. And I just applied that onto my lid with a flat concealer brush from Wet n Wild as well. And I didn't wet it because I wanted it to stay soft, so that way it blends out very easily, because we're going to continue to build up on this color. And then I'm going into the shade Dark Black Heart, and I'm going to go ahead and take that on this Smashbox smudger brush, and I'm just going to go ahead and apply that onto my lash line, and we're going to go ahead and kind of blend that into that nice taupey shade that's on the lid already. And this is going to start creating that nice smoky effect, and you can feel free to build it up to the intensity that you want. I think I built it up twice to get it nice and dark. So then I'm using this Smashbox angled brush just to get really close to that lash line and make sure that it's really intense. And then I just went over that Mugshot shade again just to make sure that that color doesn't disappear with all the blending. And then I'm taking some of the color Strange and just applying that onto my brow bone just to make sure everything is nice and blended and to highlight that brow bone area. And then I went into the shade Dust, and I just went ahead and put that into my inner corner. And then I'm going back into the shades Dark Side and Factory and putting that on my lower lash line just to connect everything, putting a little bit of eyeliner on there. And then I'm going into my Kiss number 11 lashes, and I'm using the ones that I doubled up. These are some of my favorite dramatic lashes because they are still very nice and full, but I feel like they aren't super crazy dramatic. Like, they still kind of look like your own lashes, just really built up. So that's what I really like about these lashes. And look at the difference between lashes and no lashes. So like I said, always make sure that you wait about 30 seconds or so to apply your falsies after you put the glue on there, because you want to make sure that it gets nice and tacky, because if not, then they'll be slipping and sliding. As you guys can see, I just popped them on, and then I'm just using the tweezers to make sure that they push into the lash line. And then I'm going into this lip liner from MAC. I can't remember what color it is, but I'll link it down below for you guys. And then I'm taking some of the shade Strip from ColourPop's Ultra Satin line again, and I'm going to go ahead and use that on my lips. And this is the finished look. I hope you guys did enjoy this video where I did 3 looks using one palette. Please let me know down below which look was your favorite, and also what palette you guys would want to see me do another 3 looks with one palette. And if you recreate any of these looks, please make sure you guys do tag me on my Instagram, and you guys can use my hashtag as well, so that way I can find those looks a lot easier. And I will see you guys in the next video. Until then.